most famous physical therapist on the internet.
All right.
Hi, folks. I'm Bob Schultz, physical therapist.
Brad Heineck, physical therapist.
Together we are the most famous physical therapists on the internet.
In our opinion, of course,
You
Bob.
see how I emphasize famous on that one? By the way, let's talk about what we're going to talk about today. How to take care of your prosthesis. Very informative, very relevant information for someone who has prosthesis.
Right. Whether you're, maybe you may be getting one, you want this information, a family member, whatever
Right.
situations. We got experts here.
Yes, we do.
We have someone who's been using prosthesis for
12
12
years.
years. Yep. And it's, he does very well. He's going to be much better than us.
Yes. By the way, if you're new to our channel, please take a second to subscribe to us. We provide videos how to stay healthy, fit, pain-free, and we upload every day. Go to bobandbrad.com. Go to the giveaway section.
Yes.
You'll find out what we're giving away. I'm sure it's something great.
It is. It's going to be
always
something
great.
exciting.
Go to facebook.com. The contest will be pinned to the top of the page. Go to Twitter, Instagram, TikTok if you want a 60-second version of our program. And Brad, what else do we have?
We now have podcasts going on, and they're doing outstanding, wonderful interviews are going on from authors, doctors, etc. So check them out.
Real experts in the field, so
Not like us.
not like us.
Take care. Okay, here we are again. We're talking to Randy and Brandon. Randy has his prosthesis and his cell phone. We're going to talk about the mechanics and how to care for the prosthesis. And this is about as updated as it gets.
This is about as cool as it gets.
Yep.
Okay, a guy like Randy, he's been an amputee for 12 years, and I've worked with him all throughout that time. And every year or every, one of the things that's probably interesting to people is how often do you need a new prosthesis?
Sure.
Well, the answer is whenever something breaks or whenever your limb, your residual limb that's inside the prosthesis shrinks up enough to justify a new socket on the top.
Sure.
That can vary. One of the things I tell people when we take a hand cast of their limb, the prosthesis that we make does not change.
Sure.
The only thing that changes is your skin and your limb inside it as you use it.
Right.
And so we have to be in touch and constantly making adjustments. The first prosthesis will last maybe 6 to 12 months, maybe. You'll have another prosthesis that'll last maybe 1 to a year and a half.
Sure.
And then from then on out, it's kind of up to the user. Most people, light use, moderate use, are every 3 to 5 years. Randy's kind of every year and a half, maybe even every year.
Yeah.
But he pushes the envelope. His limb is constantly changing. And so we do what we can with being smart about the socket design, but we have to keep up with his fitness level, his activity level,
Right.
and it just depends on what people do.
So you're saying you replace the whole limb or just from
Yeah.
the knee up?
So let's talk about that. The most frequent thing to replace is the prosthetic socket. This is the custom piece that we build. So as prosthetists, we connect people to the parts.
Sure.
From here up is hand built in our office at Limb Lab. In fact, I make Randy's because
I told you to.
He told me to. So and I have him help me even sometimes. He'll buy me a pizza and we'll stay late and we'll laminate the socket, But from here on down, we work with, the top 6 manufacturers in the world. We have access to every component out there that's proper for our clients. This knee is something we buy from a German-based company called Autobach.
Okay.
This is an X3 prosthetic knee, microprocessor knee, waterproof, mud, dirt, anything.
Yeah, I can
any
go kayaking.
implement, go anywhere he wants to go. He can walk into the water. He can walk out of snow and mud. Down to a force sensing pylon that's attached to a prosthetic foot. And this prosthetic foot is a fiberglass foot that's called a dynamic response multi-axial foot. It's a Maverick foot from a company, Freedom. And now he can walk up and down ramps with this compliant foot, this knee that helps him go over logs in the middle of the woods, heavy grass.
Helps with everything.
Whatever he needs.
So yeah, Brandon's an avid hunter. Hiker.
Randy's an avid hunter.
I'm sorry.
I go along with Randy once in a while.
Well, Brad, most people don't know there's a computer in here, a battery, have to charge it every 5 days, 13 sensors, a gyroscope,
Whoa.
So it knows where it's at in space.
Yeah,
And
and there's a cylinder in there too. It looks
Yeah.
like so that is being controlled by all this electronic.
Yeah, you know what's
Yeah.
crazy? So in the old days, there was a hydraulic knee, hydraulic prosthetic knee, and that would be set up by a prosthetist to walk at one speed,
Sure. Yep.
a person's self-selected speed. Well, if they wanted to walk fast, it wouldn't quite keep up with them. If they
Right.
wanted to walk slow, it would act funny. So what happened now with a microprocessor knee is 1,000 times a second. This pylon is communicating the forces in the foot
Sure.
to the knee, microprocessor control of the hydraulic cylinders that allow fluid travel, flexion extension of that cylinder.
Yep. So
1,000
that knee
times.
is,
Yep.
is telling the knee what to do because
It's-
there's no muscles.
It's telling
there,
how
obviously.
slow to
Oh.
make it, how stiff to make it, how loose to make it.
Yeah.
It knows if it's going up and down, forward, backward, side to side, and it will create the optimal setting for his walking speed and direction and incline and decline 1,000 times a second. So it's like having a mini prosthetist in there
Sure.
controlling those knobs and making it perfect for him.
So
It's
as-
unbelievable.
So as far as, well, is it possible to go to the point where you could jog a little bit, or is that
There is a running
beyond
mode.
the point?
No,
There is.
this one will recognize if he takes off, it will switch into running mode automatically.
Okay.
When you take care of these things, and here's what I was kind of getting to, the most frequent replacement is a prosthetic socket, because that's the part that connects to the human body,
Okay.
connect the people to the parts. These components all mostly have a 3-year warranty on them.
Okay.
That's kind of the most that manufacturers will give,
Mhm.
certain million cycles or whatever that is. So these feet and knees will communicate with an iPhone
So
and
you gotta-
tell you,
Through Bluetooth.
tell you when it needs to be sent in for maintenance. Show them how you connect.
So you just have an app in there for this, I'm
Yeah.
assuming?
It's,
Mhm.
Yep, it's just an app. You spin the knee
Whoa.
like that. This is a great trick for 5-year-olds. Okay? When you do this, 5-year-olds, when they're running through church,
Yeah.
you can stop them in their tracks. And their moms love that. So,
So you have to turn it upside down so the knee sends a Bluetooth signal to the phone, says, hey, I want to connect to you.
Oh, okay.
And so he has an app on his phone. This knee has 6 different modes in it. Randy has
Yes.
a basic mode, which is a walking mode. He has a running mode. He has a cycling mode, a golf mode, a cross-country skiing, and table tennis. He uses table
Wow.
tennis quite a lot.
Yeah.
But all you have to do is select the one you want. So let's show him how that
So
kind
it's
of works.
connected now?
It's connected, and you
Okay.
can, just by clicking, change it. So just stand up. Just show them the stiffness of the knee in basic mode. So you see how there's resistance in that hydraulic cylinder. Now
see how
watch. Yep.
It's flexing.
Yep.
I almost need a profile to really
Yep.
see it.
it's moving that hydraulic fluid
And then if you really
at a
want to
certain rate.
mess with him, we change it to bicycling. When you sit on a bicycle, you just want it to go into free swing. So hold my shoulder if you need to. It's going to beep, and now when he picks it up, move it back and forth. Look at that.
Kind of like a pendulum.
Yeah.
Yep, it just
It just
it's
swings.
just a fancy hinge.
Sure.
One of the things I think, do we have golf set up for your walking through the weeds?
Yes.
Okay, so now as he's plowing through tall grass,
Now it will only
it locks.
it'll only move
right
so
there.
far.
Try to bend it.
Oh, yeah.
So he can hammer through tall weeds and things.
Yeah.
It gives me a little bit of flexion to get going, but then when the weeds grab my toe,
Sure.
I can just pull it through.
Okay. Yep. Yep.
And so we'll go back to basic mode. Great. The one thing I wanted to show on this is there's a little information button here, and it says, hey, this component requires maintenance. It can be used without restrictions. Please contact your O&P professional. So after this session today, we're going to go back to Rochester, and I have a loaner knee coming
Yep.
from Autobach, and we're going to swap it out, send his in for maintenance, and he'll go live his life with a loaner unit, so he's never without a component.
So does it say what the problem is?
It's set up for, this is a regular maintenance schedule.
Okay.
There is no issues. It's not detecting any issues. So it says you're free to use it without restrictions, but we need to send it in because the
Right.
time has elapsed.
Just like an oil change on your car.
Yep.
Sure. Is there any maintenance that you have to do with this from, from the knee down?
Just keep it clean.
Okay.
If I go out to beach, you
Okay.
got to make sure you don't get too much sand in it.
Yeah, I can imagine.
The
Big thing in
water
the
is
feet
fine.
too, right? The foot shells. If you go into mud and snow and dirt and
Right.
sand, spray those things out. Pop the foot shell off. Spray them out with some hose
So
if you can.
That's what you do? You just use a garden hose, or
You
is
can.
can you use an air compressor to
Yep.
blow some of that debris out?
Yeah, the foot shell, when I kayak, the foot shell would gather water, right?
Okay.
There's a plastic shell around the foot.
Hmm.
And,
Let's show them.
okay.
Yeah, I was kind of curious to see what's
And
underneath that hiking boot.
when you come out of the water, the plastic shell is full of water, which makes your foot quite a bit
Grab the other
heavier.
side of this.
Yeah.
Which the knee goes, I have
you
no
go.
clue what's going on. What's happening?
Show them how
Oh,
you take that foot shell off.
So then you just
yeah.
grab it
Yep.
like this, stretch it, and pull it off.
Wow.
You can't do that at home, I don't think.
Yeah.
Take this off.
So this is there's no hydraulics or anything below
There's
the
not.
ankle. It's just is that fiberglass?
It's a
or-
fiberglass blade with the ability for inversion and eversion. So stand up and just kind of show them how
Oh, so
that twists.
It's split down the middle.
yeah.
So that allows that, like you said, inversion, different weight bearing angles and whatnot.
Yeah, and if you look, it had a little heel shock here. This J curve gives him some kickoff when he.
Yep.
When he
Yeah, so
steps
that's
on
a little
it.
shock absorbing too on heel
Yep.
strike. Sure.
Squish. Can you squish the heel?
Put some
Yeah,
weight-
there you go.
Yeah. So we're looking at a little bit. It's pretty
Yeah.
subtle. I don't know if you'll see it on the camera, but
Yeah, you see
that little
bounce.
bit of shock absorption, I'm assuming, is pretty big for.
It's
for
very
you.
big. Everything that your foot hits translates right into your femur.
Sure. Right.
Because this is all mechanical. It's
Mhm.
you don't have the cartilage and all of those
Yeah.
things in your normal God-given leg.
So this is as much this doesn't come apart. There's no plates or anything to keep
So,
clean, or
this is
no
a
grease
protective.
zerks or
This is a protective rubber cover on there. You can pop that off too.
This is actually a wonderful thing, this cover, because I can sit on my knees like redoing a deck
Yep.
boards. I can be on this knee and it doesn't ever hurt.
oh sure, yeah, there you go.
So there's the chassis of the microprocessor knee. It's
So-
carbon fiber.
Yeah, that's absolutely.
And it's got a little heat sink.
So
And every
there's a
night
battery in this.
he plugs it into a magnetic charger right here.
So that's good for every day. You have to recharge.
You don't have to. What's the longest you
It's
went without it?
The battery is rated for 5 days.
Okay.
And of course, it's about how much you use it, right?
Okay.
So if you use it a lot, I typically will charge it every 3rd to 4th day.
Okay.
Um,
Does it matter like what terrain? If you're walking on a hiking where it's uneven, does it wear the battery down quicker?
It does.
Versus a flat.
it's just like your regular muscles. The more you use it, the harder you use it, the more the battery is drained.
So you walked down to the bottom of the Grand Canyon.
I did.
Did you wear out your battery, or did you get the Grand Canyon?
9 seconds.
Okay, so you went down to the bottom of the Grand Canyon, and
did.
there's not outlets to charge.
No.
Did you make it down and up with one charge?
No, I did not. I actually built a solar charger for it.
Oh,
So
Okay.
he's a kind of a smart engineer type
yeah,
guy.
right.
Electronics kind of guy, and so I built a solar charger. You can buy one, but why buy one when
Anybody
you can
could do
build
it that way, right?
right? So
This is my kind of guy.
so and it's fun for me. I know
Sure.
it sounds weird, but it's fun.
No,
So I built a solar charger and a backup battery, and I carried that with me. And we spent a full day, rest day, down in the canyon, and I let it charge up. Then
okay, so there's enough sun down there, and
there was enough sun and the battery, and I got about a 3/4% charge, 75% charge on it down at the
Okay.
bottom, which is enough to get out,
But
which
like-
is what I wanted to do.
like you said, they're available on the market. You can buy them. You
They
don't
are.
have to go in your garage and have
Right.
fun like that.
You know,
Yes, you
another
can.
another thing I talk to guys like Randy or people that are up and about with their prosthesis, how to take care of this thing. It's using your ears. Listen for any weird sounds that happen. If there's a little
Ah.
click or a little, grinding sound, or his hearing isn't the best, so sometimes you have to maybe ask a friend.
Yeah, okay, I'm
"Do
an
you
old guy. My
do you-
hearing's not
do
so
you-
good.
Do you hear anything going on with my leg?" And usually sounds like that, little clicking metal sounds aren't good. So contact your prosthetist, go in, they'll take a look. All these connectors have Loctite on them. They get torqued to a specific tension. And those need to stay all fully functioning for these types of prostheses to work well together.
So Loctite is a fluid that you put on there, so it dry or cures. It's anaerobic actually, and it locks in tight.
And it stops the threads from backing out and coming loose.
So it's fun to get those loose, and I suppose we use a thread locker.
We use a thread locker, the blue stuff, not the red.
Right. So
However,
when I was a mechanic, we use that all the time. So yeah. Yep. We're talking my language. These guys are fun.
Yeah, it's kind of like
I might be a good orthotist. Or
you would be an excellent orthotist and prosthetist.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
What do you tell people? Being a prosthetist. What I tell people is if you like solving problems and you need to be half mechanic, half psychologist, half artist, and half what's the other one?
But Brandon, that's 4 halves.
I know, that's right. That's right.
I'm a math guy. Explain that to me.
And really, do you pay much attention to the inside of your prosthetic socket? Do you ever clean it out maybe once in a while?
Not really.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm in and out of water and stuff. And
if it's dirty or there's stuff on it, from whatever.
I brush the dirt out, when I fall.
Yeah, right. So you want to keep things generally clean. The level that you're allowed to keep things clean with the type of mechanism that you have is at a knee or a foot. If they're allowed to be sprayed with water, spray them with water. If they're allowed to be, blown off with air, do that. But the general thing is to wipe and clean with like rubbing alcohol or some sort of evaporative, solvent of some sort. Clean out the inside of your socket and just keep things looking nice. If you can keep dirt and grime and sand away from different sorts of moving parts, you'll get the most out of the lifetime of your prosthetic device.
Wonderful. Excellent.
You want to try putting it on?
No, because people are already falling asleep, but we're listening to them.
Okay.
They're not with you, but now, anyways, it's about time we should. We've got another video to do.
Okay.
Yeah, because you're gonna learn. You're gonna teach us how to fall. I understand. So I'm kind of excited to get to that.
Okay.
So very good. Thanks for listening. I hope you had a good educational experience with us, and we'll see you on the next video.